Good evening, everyone. Let's go and get started. I want to welcome everybody here this evening to learn about the Mighty Rebel Band. Tonight, you will be getting a lot of information. We don't expect you to remember it all. This is basically going to be a brief overview of the entire band program. We are recording this meeting, so you will have the opportunity to go back and review it at any time after today. If at any time you have any questions, please type them out in the Zoom chat. At the end of the meeting, we will review all of the chat and answer any and all questions that y'all have. Again, if you have any questions during the meeting at any time, please leave them in the chat. To be honest with you, talking about questions, there are many more questions than answers about how and when the school year will start next year. To be honest with you, we don't want you to worry about that. That's our job to get it all figured out. The start of high school band can be overwhelming in a normal year, especially for freshman students and parents. But this year will bring some never before seen challenges. Again, I don't want you, students, new parents, to worry at all. We take care of everything and we will figure it all out when the time comes. For those of you that are coming to us from Abel and Alamo, it's been great getting to know you this past year, especially at in the fall when we had our 8th graders join us for the Mighty Rebel football game. It was great to hang out with y'all then, and we can't wait to have y'all as actual members of our band program this year. As you know, currently at the junior high level, students only are involved in concert band. That's the sit-down band where you sit down on a stage and have concerts and or go to contests. At the high school level, students may participate in marching band, concert band, jazz band, winter guard, color guard, and or percussion ensemble. So lots of more options when it comes to high school band, which we're really excited about you getting active in. I want to introduce you to our directing staff. My name is Dion. I'm the director of bands here at Lee. Just a little background. I graduated from Texas State University in 2002 with a Bachelor of Music degree. I also have a master's in Education Administration from Lamar University. I've been teaching for 18 years, and I actually started my career 18 years ago at Goddard here in Midland. I know that's on the other side of town. Besides Goddard, I've also taught at Midland Freshman and at Odessa High School before coming to Lee 2 years ago. Mrs. Marine graduated with her bachelor's degree in music from West Texas A&M University in May 2017. Mrs. Marine teaches at several camps during the summer throughout the state, including leadership camps at Texas A&M Commerce and at WT in Canyon. Mrs. Medine has taught in Ector County ISD and has been at Lee Freshman for 1 year. Mr. Gonzalez completed his Bachelor of Music Education at WT as well in Canyon in December of 2017. He has taught in the Lubbock ISD and has been at Lee High School for 1 year. Mr. Cannell received both his bachelor's and master's degrees in music from West Texas State. He has been teaching for 14 years. Some places include Abernathy, Bushland, Memphis, Canyon, Joshua, Western Hills High School percussion sections before coming to Lee High School. We have an exceptional team here, and we look forward to teaching your students all about band over the next 4 years. Okay, let's dive in here. During the fall semester, we have our marching band program. To be a member of the Mighty Rebel Band, you must perform with the marching band in the fall and the concert band in the spring. This is how we do band. Students must participate in both activities. You can't just do marching band and you can't just do concert band. You have to do both activities. Just so you know, marching band, when students complete the marching band, they actually receive PE credit for their participation. Marching band performs at pregame and halftime of all home football games and away games when the band travels with the team, the football team. In the past, the band performed at most of the away games. Currently, though because of budget constraints, the band only marches at district away games. Each week, the directing staff prepares what's called a trip sheet. This trip sheet provides all the necessary details for that week's performance. Chances are your student will never bring this trip sheet home. So we're going to talk a lot about that tonight. If you want to know where we are playing, when we leave, ask your student for the trip sheet, but I also want to encourage you to get connected yourself. So we'll show you ways to do that later on in our meeting. We also send out any and all of our announcements out on Remind and all of our social media sites. Just prepare yourself for your students not to bring home these trip sheets. And we want to make sure that you know where to go to find them. To participate in marching band, we also have a new Texas state law that requires a pre-participation physical and a medical history form completed. Now, for this coming school year, all freshmen will have to get this done. And if you're new to Texas, say you are coming in as a junior and you are new to Texas, you haven't lived in Texas, you're from Ohio or Florida, you will need to complete a pre-participation physical. These physicals must be completed by July 27th for these students. Please be on the lookout for the proper forms. We're going to be posting these forms on our website as well as social media, things like that. So keep an eye out on those locations for our forms. We will actually work on setting up an opportunity for band students to get this done in July. But if you want to take care of this before then, it would be very helpful. Summer band camp, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as we go on here, we're going to give some dates. And this is if everything opens back up. If students are allowed to come on campus and we're allowed to teach like we normally do, we want you to know that our special dates, our date to save right in your calendar is July 27th. So at the end of July, July 27th, the marching band officially begins summer band camp. Summer band is held the 3 weeks prior to school officially starting. Like I said, if all goes as planned, we will start summer band camp on July 27th. Now, 2 days before that, and our Booster Club president will speak on this a little bit more later, we have our band registration day, which we like to call Extravaganza. We have very creative Booster Club parents. So we call this Extravaganza, which will take place on Saturday, July 25th. That's 2 days before summer band camp starts. This is essentially our band registration. You will turn in all required paperwork. This is your opportunity to buy all of the required marching gear and turn in forms and also get fitted for shoes for marching band, and you'll be able to ask any questions you have. Also during summer band camp, there are optional evening events planned by the student officers to build friendship, pride, and a sense of being a part of the band. Some examples of these evening activities during summer band camp might be swim parties, midnight movies, scavenger hunt, miniature golf. So the typical day for summer band camp looks like this. We'll have one rehearsal in the morning. We don't necessarily have the times stated yet, but just plan for 2 days. We'll have a rehearsal in the morning and rehearsal in the afternoon. Then, like I said, evenings will be time for us to come together, get to know each other, and have some fun. Now, one of the things that we also have in high school that you don't have at junior high is color guard. Now, a lot of people think color guard is something different. Color guard can actually refer to the ROTC folks who bring the American and United States flag out onto the field for football games. In our sense, color guard performs with the marching band on the football field. These are the students that will twirl and throw their equipment such as flags, sabers, and rifles. Winter guard is in the springtime. So color guard meets in the fall, winter guard meets in the spring. And in winter guard, they actually perform by themselves to taped music, performing in gymnasiums. This past year, we had 2 winter guards here at Lee, a varsity and a non-varsity. In a marching band, the color guard is a non-instrumental section. So that means you don't have to be able to know how to play an instrument to be part of our color guard. The main purpose of the color guard is to provide additional visual aspects to the performance. There are no requirements to be a member of the color guard. Most of our guard members do not play an instrument. Their instrument is their equipment, such as flag, rifle, saber. So if you have any friends who say were not in band in junior high, but want to be part of the Lee High School band, this is their time to join. And the best place for them is color guard. A little bit more about the color guard. Color guard allows the audience to have a visual element which aids them to understand the music better that we play on the field. Very visual. Moving on to concert band. In November of each year, all band students will audition for their chair placement into one of 3 concert bands for the spring semester. The Mighty Rebel concert bands meet during the spring semester during the same class period as marching band during the fall. The concert bands have many performances during the year. There is a midwinter concert, possibly a winter concert this coming year, and a spring concert. Additional performances vary from year to year, of course. Just as with the marching band, there is a concert band competition held during the school year, which is the UIL Concert and Sight Reading Evaluation, and that takes place in April. During the spring semester, all concert bands will have full band rehearsals, which are held once a week after school. These rehearsals will be conducted by visiting clinicians and directors. So again, we will also have sectionals that are held after school or before school, and will be scheduled once school starts. The exact sectional schedule will be published again once we get into the school year. Sectionals and full band rehearsals mainly happen in the spring semester for concert bands. Something I want to bring your attention to, that it's never too early to talk about this, is Texas law. It's called No Pass, No Play. This came about as a result of the passage of House Bill 72 by the Texas legislature in 1984. This means that students must pass all of their classes with a 70 or better to attend marching band contests, football games, solo and ensemble, or concert band contests. With your help, we really hope to stay on top of all students' grades, and if necessary, initiate one-on-one conferences with students who are in danger of failing a class. Many times we will print grade reports and hand them to the students every week. And like I said, if we have to have one-on-one conferences with the students and or with the parents, we can do that as well. If you have not had parent access to Skyward, again, Skyward, if you're from out of the area and you're joining us new to Midland, Skyward is our grade book and attendance. It's everything that's online that you can actually access at home. So once school starts, there will be a parent access portal to Skyward. Once school opens up in the fall, please request access from the Lee High School office to view your student's Skyward account. Let's talk a little bit about how parents are involved in our band program. We could not do what we do without an awesome booster club like we have. Chaperoning a band trip, be it a football game or spring trip, is one of the most rewarding experiences a parent can have. All chaperones must be members of the Lee High School Booster Club, submit a Midland ISD background check form, be willing to work hard, and most importantly, enjoy working with teenagers. It is also one of the greatest opportunities to spend time with your child and their friends in a very subtle fashion. Getting involved in your students' band experience will be one of the best investments that you can make for your child. There is ample opportunity for parents to boost up the band. That's why they call them booster clubs. You may think, I don't know what to do, or you may be afraid to volunteer. I promise you, if you put your heart into it, the rewards you receive in return from the students more than compensate for your time spent making sandwiches, hemming pants, loading buses, things like that. Some of the other activities that our parents are involved in, we have parents that help out with their front ensemble equipment. We have parents that help serving food on Friday nights, like giving fruit or snacks to band members on long band days, getting a chance to interact with other parents in the band, and of course, creating lifelong friendships. We also have parents that will help build props for the marching band. If you know your way around a toolbox, we definitely need you. We also have trailers. We have 3 trailers. And this is how we transport all of our instruments and materials and props to all of our marching band performances. I now want to introduce Ashley Blaze. She is the president of our Booster Club. She is going to continue on talking about more parental activities and what the Booster Club does for the band program. Mrs. Blaze, take it away.
Information at you tonight, but don't let it scare you off. This is an excellent program, and we can't wait for you to become part of our family next year. Mr. Dion has kind of explained all the fun stuff and what to expect during marching season, concert season. So now it's kind of my turn to get down to the business side of things. If you will, that means that we basically get to talk about what it's going to cost to be in band and what all is involved and what's going to be needed. The band boosters and the directors work together to provide fundraising opportunities for each and every child to help ensure that no one is excluded from our band due to financial restrictions. Okay. Our annual assessment, can you change the slide, Mr. Dion, or can I do that? Okay, sorry. Our annual assessment fee for each student is $500. This fee helps cover a lot of expenses for the band, including all of the meals when your student is with us. We actually feed dinner to every student before every football game. So every Friday night or every Friday afternoon when your child gets out of school, they will stay with us until the end of the football game. So we feed them dinner. We provide snacks at halftime, and on marching contest days, sometimes we feed the band up to 3 meals a day. These funds also help pay for things like music copyrights, marching drill supplies. For instance, this next year, we're going to be paying for a program that students can download on their cell phones so that they can learn their spots on the field without having to keep up with paper copy. They'll be able to watch it on their phone. We help purchase supplies for props and just a multitude of other things that the band needs on a daily basis throughout the year. You can pay your assessment all at one time if you'd like at the beginning of the year and be done with it. But we also have a way that you can make a payment plan and pay it out over 4 months so that the burden's not so heavy on everybody. We ask that you pay the deposit of $150 at our band extravaganza, which is going to be on July the 25th, which is a Saturday. And then we have monthly payments set up for September, October, and November. These payments can be made either online. We have a website, mightyrebelband.com. You can pay through PayPal on that site for no fee. You can mail us a check to our P.O. box, or in both band halls, we have a safe outside the director's door. You can place your check in an envelope, sealed envelope, student's name, what the payment's going to be for, and put it in that locked safe. And our treasurers will pick that up and get those posted to your students' accounts. And then for those that don't like to pay online, don't feel comfortable sending a check with your kid to school to put in the safe, then we do have designated nights, usually about once or twice a month at the school, where you can come up and you can make those payments in person if you prefer to do that. We do require that all students be in good standing with the band. And that basically means that their assessments have to be paid in full, grades have to be in check, behavior has to be in check, things like that. In order for the students to attend things like our annual band banquet and to go on our spring trip. So we just ask that you please stay on top of your obligations because we don't want anyone to miss out on the fun. And if you do have any financial issues, please reach out to us, reach out to a director, and we'll be happy to visit with you. So in an ideal world, taxes, the school taxes that we pay would be enough to fund the entire band program, but unfortunately that just doesn't happen. So the band boosters have developed several fundraisers to supplement the MISD band budget. The variety of fundraisers chosen gives each student the chance to supplement the booster budget, as well as for them to earn money to help pay for their assessments and their spring trip. Our past fundraisers have included things like selling the world's finest chocolate, which is a favorite because the kids can sell that at school, popcorn from Popcorn Premier, candles from Candle Cafe, and we've even, this last year, we did a Keep Midland Beautiful event where students had the opportunity to earn up to $100 towards their assessment just by helping clean up our city. And we're always looking for new and fun ways to help earn money to help meet those assessment obligations. Our largest fundraiser that we do at the beginning of every year, and with its biggest reward for you as the student, is our annual sponsorship drive. We offer local businesses the opportunity to support the band by making a donation, and in return, they get to advertise on our show shirts that the kids will wear at all the football games, pep rallies, various outings, things like that. They get advertising on our semi, and even announcements at the halftime football game, depending on what level they choose. This fundraiser will actually kick off sometime next week, and it'll run through the first week of August. So you'll have all summer to go out and get businesses on board and send in their sponsorships. Students, by doing this, you can earn anywhere from $75 to $1,000 per sponsorship ad, depending on what level they choose. And in the past, we have had students in our program who've been able to pay for all of their expenses through fundraising alone. So it can be done if you put a little bit of effort into it. In a little bit, I'll be talking to you about how to stay connected. And whenever you join our Facebook page, you'll just watch that. Be sure to follow us, and we'll let you know whenever those forms are available to be sent out to local businesses. Okay. All band members are required to purchase certain gear in order to participate in the marching band. It's one of my slides missing. List of the items that'll be needed are required items are sold by the band boosters, include your maroon band polo. This is what we wear for our summer uniform when the temps are too hot for our full uniform. We have an under uniform, which is gray shorts and a maroon shirt that you wear under your uniform. This allows the band to change in and out of the uniform when we're on the go, and also helps keep us looking uniform when we're not in our marching uniform. And then a gray water jug. This is also a required part of your uniform, and you are required to have this for all games. All of these items will be available for you to purchase at our extravaganza on July 25th. And for our new and incoming students, so freshman students, or if you're just new to the band in general, you'll receive the water jug for free once you've paid your $150 deposit. The other items on the right side of the screen, those have to be purchased separately. These also are required items as to be part of your marching uniform and required items. We switched to black marching shoes last year. You can buy those at Intune, and they run approximately about $50. They're very comfortable. They're more like a tennis shoe than an actual marching shoe. And whenever we have the extravaganza, we will have Intune there. They will measure you for shoes, get ordered, and deliver them to the school once the order is in and they're available. Most students are also required to wear black gloves, and we want you to have the long wristed gloves that'll go tuck up underneath your sleeve so that we can't see your wrists and stuff whenever you pop your instruments up. Woodwinds, you'll need the fingerless gloves. Those can also be purchased from Intune. If you're probably from 8th grade, from some of your performances, you may have some of these other items, but you should have a music lyre for your instrument, marching flip folder with extra pages. This is what's going to hold all of your stand music at the games. Reeds, mouthpieces, oil, drumsticks, etc. You know the items that you need to play your instrument, so make sure you're prepared and you have extras on hand. You'll need solid black long socks. These need to be worn as part of your marching uniform, and we don't want anybody to see your white ankles, so you want to make sure they're at least calf length or higher. Then khaki shorts, MISD approved length so that they're not too short. These are worn as part of your summer uniform with your maroon band polo. And with that, you'll also wear white short ankle socks. And so you'll need your maroon polo, your khaki shorts, and your white socks will be some of the first things that you wear this next year. And then I didn't put this on here, but blue jeans. On occasion, we do have to wear blue jeans with our polo. So make sure you have a nice pair of blue denim jeans with no holes, no rips, any of that stuff on them so that you look nice in the stands with those on. Okay. Okay, so now on to volunteer opportunities, which Mr. Dion touched on a little bit. We have quite a few ways that you can help the band as a parent. I've always said that until you help the band one time, you have no idea what all is involved to get the band on the field. And with 250 kids, there's a lot to do all the time. On a Friday night, it takes an average of about 25 parent volunteers just to get the band on the bus and headed to the football game. That's a lot of hands that we need. All volunteers must pass an MISD background check before they will be approved to volunteer. So we'll be posting a link sometime this summer for you to go in and do that online and register. So be watching our Facebook page for that so you can get that done as soon as possible. So one of the teams that we use, and this is probably the kids' favorite team, is our hospitality team. They're responsible for serving the food to our band before all games, contests, and events that we have. As a volunteer in this group, you would come help set up, serve the kids, and clean up the meals. You'll typically need to arrive at the school around 3:30. Depending on how early we have to leave that day, that time can vary, but you're typically done by 5 o'clock, sometimes earlier, sometimes a little bit later, but typically from about, say, 3 to 5 for that position. Then we have our water team, and this team is responsible for helping fill the gray water jugs that you have to purchase for your uniform. We use those gray jugs for every game and some contests that we attend. And so these parents come and they help put ice and water in every single jug of the students as they're getting ready for the night. Typically you'll arrive around 3:30 for this, and again, be done around 4:30 or 5, helping with that job. So then our next one is our uniform team. And this one is a fun one because you get to see a lot of the kids come through on this. You will help with uniform fittings before the season begins. We'll pull each student in, have them try on uniforms to get fitted for the season. And it's real simple. It's literally just picking out sizes, and the sleeves and the pants all have snaps. So you don't even have to know how to sew. You just have to know how to snap a button to help fit a kid for a uniform. And this takes probably about 10 or 12 volunteers just to get the kids fit for that. On this one, if you're a part of this team, we do ask that you be available for game and contest days. And you would come up to the school and just be present to help the kids get ready if they need to. The new jackets zip in the back. And so a lot of kids do need help sometimes getting those jackets zipped all the way up. If you can sew, there is some light sewing occasionally that's needed, just to like sew on a button, maybe fix a hem if there's a button missing or something. We could use help with washing and cleaning uniforms. And this job, typically we have you arrive at the school around 4:30. And then you would be done as soon as the kids are dressed and ready to go to inspection. So we have a lot of moms this last year that helped on this that had younger kids. They picked their kids up from elementary school, and then they'd come up to the school and help us with uniform fittings, and then still be gone in time to help, feed the rest of their family. Okay. Our pit crew, to me, this is our hardest working crew. This is a great place for our dads to get involved. They help build our props. They help make repairs to equipment and instruments when needed. They help us load and unload the semi before games, during games, after the games. And then they also help move props and instruments onto the field for pregame and halftime performances. They do probably most of the heavy lifting for us, which I am very grateful for. We do have, as Mr. Dion said, we have a semi, and then we have 2 trailers that have to be pulled. And so dads with pickups, we're always looking for somebody to help us pull the trailers to rehearsals and to games. This job, typically, if you can arrive by about 5:15 at the school, if you're going to be able to help at the school, 5 or 5:15 is a good time for you to be at the school for that. Okay. And as I mentioned, we do have a semi, and so this does require that we have a CDL licensed driver drive this for us. We have to take the semi to practices when we go to Grande, sometimes, depending on how many props we have. It has to be driven to our football games and our marching contest. Some of these events are out of town, so that would require a larger time commitment than, say, if you just drove it to a football game on a Friday night. As an added bonus, we'll feed you food the whole time you're with us, and you get to get in the game for free. So, I mean, there's a little bit of a perk for that. This last year, we only had 1 dad drive our semi for the entire year, and that is a huge commitment. So we're really trying to get 3 or 4 dads on a team so that they can work together and work out a schedule so that not one person is committed for the entire season. If you're interested in that, we'll be putting out volunteer forms here in a few weeks, and my husband, Tom Blaze, is the one that helps organize all of that. If you are interested in driving, you do have to have a Class A CDL driver's license with the air brake endorsement. You do have to go through the MISD background check and drug testing. And then you have to have a valid DOT physical on file. And you'll have to provide a copy of that to MISD as well. Okay. Our game night chaperones, this is my favorite part. I love to do Friday night games. This is the group of parents that will actually be riding buses with the band, and you will stay with them until they're dismissed at the end of the night. We basically help patrol the stands to make sure the kids are doing as directed and encourage them throughout the night to keep their spirits up. We help monitor bathroom breaks. We plume the kids as they're getting on the fields. They have to put those little feather plumes in their hats. We provide snacks at halftime. And basically, we're just there to help them with anything they need or that the directors need throughout the evening. This one is a larger commitment than the others. Obviously, you're going to have to arrive at the school probably around 5 or 5:15, depending on what time we have to depart. And then it's usually about 11:30 before we get done at the school that night. But it's tons and tons of fun. This is absolutely my favorite part. And we will feed you as well those nights, so you can come straight from work and not have to worry about starving that night. Okay. And then the last committee that we really have is our spirit sales and fundraising. You basically, if you're interested in this position, I don't have anybody for this position next year. So I am looking for somebody that would like to step up and maybe help out, but you would help us arrange the fundraising events throughout the year, which would be passing out the information to the kids. And then whenever the fundraiser's done, you would help us collect money in order forms. And then we have our spirit sale table where we sell t-shirts and visors and fans and just little gadgets and gizmos. We do this at Rebel Muster, Meet the Rebels, and then at every home football game, we set up out in front of the stadium and we sell until about kickoff time. And so the money that's raised from this table actually goes into our general booster fund to help with our annual expenses. So I know that we are all very busy and we all have lots of activities going on. I personally work a full-time job that can be very demanding sometimes. I have 2 sons and I have a husband that also works full time. And so we're very busy as well. But what I love about helping with the band is that we have lots of opportunities and lots of different ways you can help with different time commitments. So there's a way for everyone to help. And so just because you fill out a volunteer form, just know that I'm not going to hold you to that and just demand so many hours from you a week. If you can give me an hour, that's an hour I don't have to do. If you can give me 30 minutes, that's 30 minutes I don't have to do. But I think that once you start volunteering, you're going to see how much fun it is. You're going to love being around the kids, and we have some incredible parents. So it's really a lot of fun. And like Mr. Dion said, there's no better way to be a part of your child's life than supporting in their interest. I have been a parent volunteer with the band for going on 6 years now, and I've loved every single minute of it. I keep telling my husband that when my son graduates in 2 years, not really quite sure what we're going to do with ourselves. We may be lurking around in the halls when it's all over. I don't know. But I've met some incredible parents. I've made some lifelong friends by being a volunteer. And the best part of the job really is getting to know the kids and watch them grow. I actually didn't know I could like teenagers so much. Actually, it's kind of surprising, actually. And being one of the best feelings in the world is whenever they get that won a contest or when they win an award, you feel a little bit like you can celebrate because you were a part of that experience. So I hope that you'll find a way to join us next year and help. Come in and we will put you to work.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Blaze. We appreciate that. Again, I can't stress enough that we rely upon our parents volunteering for so much. And when our band parents can take care of everything that Mrs. Blaze just talked about, that can allow us as directors to focus on the teaching and the learning of the marching band and the concert band. And that way we don't have to worry if the band is getting fed or if students are, have bathroom breaks during the football games, things like that. So our band parents, when they volunteer, we treat them as assistant band directors. They are there to help us do everything that we possibly can to make the band better. One of the really neat things about participating and being a volunteer is that you get to see the students progress from day one. A lot of times, that first couple football games, we're just kind of getting our feet underneath us and we're still kind of working on our marching band show and we don't have the whole show on the field yet. But as a weekly volunteer, you kind of see the progression of how the students grow as musicians and how they grow as human beings. And so we really appreciate everything that our parent volunteers do for us in the Mighty Rebel Band. A couple more things here I do want to announce that we also have a spring band trip that we take every single year. And this is every other year, the Mighty Rebel Band is given the opportunity to go on a spring trip. That's a larger trip out of the state. Recent trips have been to Hawaii, Orlando, and Seattle. In addition to having performances at different festivals and contests, these trips offer educational experiences, sightseeing opportunities, of course, opportunities to buy souvenirs. They're lots of fun. These trips offer outstanding opportunities for our students, especially for the students that, say, haven't left Texas or haven't seen much of the country. This is a great opportunity for them. And you may wonder who pays for these trips. Bottom line, it comes down to our fundraising. The Booster Club board works has worked many years to develop fundraisers which provide a lot of opportunity for our students to raise enough money to cover not only the costs of running the band and your assessment fees, but also to cover the cost of our spring trip. Realistically, most students only partially raise the funds needed for the trip, which means parents do have to pay part of the bill. The Booster Club has set up a method of making band fee payments to ease the burden. Excuse me. Every other year, like I said, we take a little bit larger trip. This past year, we were supposed to go to Branson, which is actually a smaller trip for us. And of course, that was canceled. We were supposed to go next week, I believe, or I think in 2 weeks we were supposed to go, but of course that trip was canceled. But we have been working on next year's band trip, and we are excited to announce. You can see the palm trees here. I bet you can figure out where that is. We're happy to announce that our 2021 spring trip, this includes you, incoming band students, we're going to sunny Los Angeles, California. Some of the activities that we're going to do will be the Disney Performing Arts Workshop, Disneyland, California Adventure, Universal Studios, Hollywood. We'll get some beach time, and we'll get some time to spend at the Santa Monica Pier. We'll go to a baseball game. We will tour the Warner Brothers VIP studio. We'll head to the Grammy Museum. And this is my favorite part, is that we might be able to see an LA Philharmonic concert. And of course, we'll send out more information about this trip once summer band starts up on July 27th.
All right, so stay connected and stay informed. I can't stress this to you enough. We do our best to keep you informed with what's going on with the band. Things move very quickly in the fall, and if you don't stay connected with us, you'll get lost and frustrated very quickly, which is something we don't want to happen. Whenever parents reach out to me with frustrations, majority of the time it's because they're not following us on Facebook. They're not connected to us on Instagram. They're not signed up for Remind. No matter how mature of a kid you have, that they are going to forget to tell you something. So as Mr. Dion was saying, he puts out trip sheets every week with timelines and what's required and what needs to be worn, all that stuff. And 95% of the time, the only time you're going to know about that is if you're seeing it on my Facebook page. So kids tend to follow us on Instagram, which is fine. Parents, you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook, but I will tell you that we're able to communicate a little bit more information on Facebook. Our Facebook page is Mighty Rebel Band. And whenever you go like us, be sure and click on the little drop down and turn your notifications on to follow us so that you won't miss anything. Instagram is The Mighty Rebel Band. And then Remind 101, this communication comes directly from the directors. So you'll want to definitely make sure you're signed up for this. And you can either sign up via text or you can download the Remind 101 app. And Mr. Dion's put out the Remind for new students. So you should have hopefully already joined by using that. And then we'll have other ways for you to join different groups next year. So, and then I think I had, was that all I had? I think I'm missing a page.
Yeah, we also have our website.
Yes. So we have our website, which is www.mightyrebelband.com. We do post our schedules on there. We have information about fundraisers, our sponsorship forms, volunteer forms. You can go online there. You can make your assessment payments there. And we try to do our best to keep that updated with everything that you need. As we post it on Facebook, we usually try to update our Facebook page as well. And then you can also, the boosters have an email, and you can email us at leerebelband@yahoo.com. And we'll add that to a slide here later. Make sure you share that. And you can reach out to us anytime with questions, and we'll do our best to get you answers or refer you to a director if necessary.
So a couple common questions here as we conclude our meeting. A lot of questions we get tend to be like, what if you're not sure if you want to do band in high school? And what I always like to say is, remember when your kids wouldn't eat the food you made for them for dinner? We would say, try it before you decide you don't like it. So band is the same way, and you should really sign up for band even if you're still unsure about it. If at some point you decide that music just isn't for you, then we can talk about that later. But I guarantee that it is much easier to drop something after trying it than to join late and then decide that you missed it. So I guarantee that band in junior high is different than band in high school. And last year in the fall, giving our 8th graders a chance to come to one of our football games kind of gave you a hint of what that's like. I remember y'all came to our run through on Rebel Field, and then we had a chance to feed you dinner with us and take you to the football game. And so it's a completely different feeling, different family, and we're just really excited to get y'all up at the high school and a part of us. So as I was talking about band being different than junior high and high school, while the actual act of playing your instrument is similar, the social network and safety network that high school band provides is very different from junior high. From day one, your child will be musically and personally mentored by successful upperclassmen who have vested interest in their success. We have a very strong leadership core, which takes a lot of ownership in our band program. And these leaders will be doing a lot of the teaching and a lot of the helping with our marching band and concert bands. Your students, your future Mighty Rebel Band students, will have dozens of new and like-minded friends before school even begins. And so I always tell students that if you want to have a great first day of high school, then you need to join the band and keep going with band, because we would have rehearsed for 2.5 to 3 weeks before that first day of school. So it's a great opportunity for you to meet your new friends before the first day of school. A lot of questions we get have to deal with, can I do band and sports? The answer is yes. Now, there might be occasional conflicts, but I want you to know that the faculty at Lee High School works very hard to resolve as many conflicts as possible before they occur. And we work really well with other faculty members to solve them when they arise. These are calendar issues. Of course, performances always come first. So let's say you have a performance under a game, volleyball game versus a band rehearsal. That volleyball game would come first because a game is more important than, say, a rehearsal or a practice. So we definitely have a lot of students that compete in sports at Lee High School, and we hope that you continue. If you've already started participating in sports, you can do both. We also get questions about school-owned instruments. We provide many of the larger and more expensive instruments, like tuba, baritone, French horn. We encourage students playing smaller, less expensive instruments to either rent or purchase their own instruments. We will not let instrument availability or financial constraints keep your child from participating. That is so incredibly important here, folks. I know we've gone over a lot of information today or this evening, but I want you to know that financial constraints will never keep your child from participating. We only ask that we have a open communication between parents and directors, parents, and our Booster Club board members. That way we all know what's going on. We will be passing out school-owned instruments during our Extravaganza orientation on July 25th this summer. Again, most of you should have already turned in your school-owned instruments to Mrs. McBurney and to Ms. Frazier, but you'll be able to pick up your high school school-owned instruments on July 25th. Now, please know that we are here to answer any and all questions that you may have. Tonight is, in a way, your first day of being a member of the Mighty Rebel Band. Due to the busyness of our nature and of our program, it is difficult to contact us by phone. The best way for you to reach us is electronically through email. And my email address is steven.dion, that's steven.dojahn @midlandisd.net. And we'll share that a lot more times before we keep going on here. You may also visit our social media sites and our website at mightyrebelband.com. In fact, I would encourage you to check out our band website within the next couple days and weeks before we send out our summer letter that is a great place just to kind of start getting comfortable with how things work, and you can see last year's calendar and things like that. You can also contact our booster board, like Mrs. Blaze said, at leerebelband@yahoo.com, and they would be more than happy to answer questions. Parents, I'll be honest with you, a lot of us older folk use Facebook, and our current band parents do a really good job of answering any questions that y'all may have through Facebook Messenger. So we encourage you to use those social media outlets. So let me check out the chat right now. I want to open that up and see if we have any questions. And I think some of our other directors were answering them as we were going on, but I just want to make sure that we've covered all of our questions for this evening.
While Mr. Dion's doing that, I just wanted to jump in since so many of you are going to be ninth graders. And I wanted to let you know, I'm so excited for you guys to be here. First of all, if you're not a ninth grader, it's cool. You're just going to miss all the fun. No, I'm kidding. So for all my ninth grade friends, I just wanted to let you guys know, we did an assignment where I asked the kids what maybe your biggest fear about band was whenever they were coming in. And all of our kids 9 through 12 pretty much had a trending theme. It was one of the following 3 things. The first one was I was scared of seniors. Seniors are scary, but seniors are people too. So don't worry about the older kids. They aren't going to pick on you or come after you. If anything, they want you to succeed. So don't be scared of upperclassmen. I promise they don't bite mostly. The second thing that everybody was saying they were scared of was their level of playing. It's going to be a big old curve for you. I'm not going to lie. You're going to get that marching band music the first day, and you're going to look at it and you're going to be like, band is not for me. You're going to be ready to rip it up and throw it in the trash maybe. That's okay to be a little bit scared about the music. I promise you it is our job to make you able to play that music in some way, shape, or form, whether that's teaching you the rhythms and helping you build your range or getting your fingers to move faster, whatever that is. Like, our job, specifically my job, for those of you that are 8th graders and are about to be 9th graders in like 2 or 3 days, my job is to get you to where you can really manage that. So don't freak out about your level of playing. That's part of the reason that I didn't want to do an audition coming into your freshman year, because you just missed like 6 weeks of school and didn't get to go to UIL. So we're going to get to do that all together for the first time, because I actually missed my first UIL because I had a baby. So we're going to do that all together for the first time next year, and it's going to be awesome. The other thing that everybody said they were scared about was marching band. Marching is literally just walking with style. If you give me a thumbs up if you've ever walked and listened to music before. Cool. If you are giving me a thumbs up right now, you're going to be just fine. Like, I promise marching is not as scary as it sounds, and we just ask you to run around and play your instrument while you do it. No big deal. Our plan is to reach out and contact you guys, 8th graders. I'm planning on doing that over the next, I'm going to say month, because that gives me a little bit of time with a newborn. But I'm working on contacting you all. So if you have more one-on-one questions that maybe you didn't want to ask here, or they come up later, you guys can email me and ask me those more specifically about the freshman campus. We want you to do as many things as possible. Colleges like that you do lots of things. We like that you do lots of things. So be as ambitious as you want to be in high school, and know that we will work it out. If you want to play quarterback and they're like, dang, you're amazing, we're going to put you on varsity, we will find a way for you to march with us in halftime and make it back for the rest of the football game. Like, don't worry, we've got you. In band this year, we had Dixie Dolls, we had varsity cheerleaders, we had football players, we had softball varsity players, we had everything. ROTC, you name it, we had it and we worked it out. If you're a choir or orchestra kid, awesome. We want you to do all the things. So we just ask that as soon as we all kind of get our calendars, like, just come into our office and talk to us, and we'll sit down and work out all the practices and performances with you. But I'm so excited to have you guys at the freshman band. It'll be fun.
Thank you, Mrs. Medine. We appreciate that. Yep. I want to reiterate one thing, folks, is that we will be contacting y'all shortly here within the month with next year's calendar. We want to wait a little bit. UIL and TEA haven't necessarily put out guidelines for us for the summer and or for the fall going back to school. So we want to hear from our state organizations before we really nail down our plan and our calendar for the fall. So we'll be in touch in about a month with a lot more information. We've sent out our email addresses in the Remind chat. So if you have any questions after today, feel free to email any one of us or all of us, and we'd be happy to answer your questions at any time, including the band booster email addresses on the chat as well. And somebody asked, yes, we are recording this. We will be posting this to our social media sites and to our website. That way students, new students and new parents can go back and watch this if they missed something or they kind of want to revisit something for next year. Like I said, questions or concerns, please stick around and please submit them in chat. We'll be happy to stick around as long as we need to answer any and all of your questions. Just submit them through chat. But as of right now, that concludes our meeting. We appreciate all of you being here with us. And like I said, if we can do anything for you, if you have any questions, feel free to email us or check us out on our Facebook page or Instagram or website. Just lots of ways that you can contact us. So we'll be in touch within the month with more information about the fall. But that's all I have. Y'all have a great evening. Bye-bye.